ECi hosted cloud for DDMS is a way of moving your DDMS server to a secure and high availability environment. How is the ECi hosted cloud different from software as a solution, otherwise known as SaaS? Imagine SaaS as life in a military barracks. Every resident shares all of the resources, servers, applications, etc. The only non-shared area, much like a soldier's footlocker, is your unique data store. The ECi hosted cloud is much more like a gated community. Each resident has their own separate DDMS server running its own instance of the DDMS software. ECi provides the secure, high availability environment in which your unique server is running. Access to the server and the DDMS application will look and feel very much the way it does on-premise, only faster. Connect from any access point in the internet, home, office, Wi-Fi hotspots, or through a broadband card on the beach. We have users connecting with iPads, Droid, and Windows tablets. Your ECi server and the terminal server are accessed through the ECi firewall. The DDMS client is running on a terminal server VM in the data center housed with your DDMS server. All of the heavy lifting of the client software is handled by the terminal server VM. The RDP client passes keystrokes and screenshots between the terminal server and your location through an SSL encrypted session with your workstation, laptop, or tablet. The ECi hosted cloud resides in a world-class SaaS hosting facility. Physical security includes badged access, biometric readers, 24-hour on-premise security personnel, and video surveillance. Redundant power from separate grids to multiple dedicated transformers. The facility is a Tier 1 provider for the local internet loop and, as such, every internet provider has a presence in the facility. On-premise battery backup devices can power the facility for 24 to 48 hours. For extended power interruption, multiple generators will power the facility until the outage is resolved. Redundant cooling infrastructure ensures that the climate within the data center is maintained for optimal equipment performance. Hot and cold aisle configuration creates an efficient airflow pattern to optimize the flow of cool air through each piece of hardware. ECi hosted cloud allows DDMS dealers to leverage a high availability network at a fraction of the cost of creating one themselves. The high availability premise is based on one simple statement: why buy one when you can buy two at twice the price? The ECi data center network infrastructures are configured with no less than two of everything: routers, firewalls, load balancers, and switches, all configured to automatically fail over in the event one device fails. Hosts and storage are connected via high-speed fiber cabling. Within the ECi hosting space, there are redundant power circuits and redundant internet feeds from SaaS. ECi hosted cloud for DDMS runs on data center class equipment, high-end physical hosts, quad processor, 6-core CPUs, 500 gig to 1 terabyte of RAM, redundant fiber network cards, fiber channel SAN storage, EMC Clarion SANs, redundant power and controllers, multiple enclosures made up of multiple arrays. Virtualization is an important part of the ECiCloud high availability story. Simply put, virtualization allows ECi to separate the server from the hardware. ECi utilizes the VMware abstraction layer as the backbone for the virtualization of servers. The host, the actual hardware, is running the VMware abstraction layer. Multiple virtual servers, or VMs, can be built on one host. The VM consists of an operating system and one or more applications, in this case DDMS. The VMs are not aware that they are virtual and as such perform as if they were physical servers. In this example, the one host could be running a DDMS server, a terminal server, and an email server. That email server could even be running on different OS than the other VMs, example Linux. So how does virtualization play into high availability? VMotion is a process by which VMs can be moved from one host or physical box to another while they are running. Users of the VM continue to work uninterrupted as the VM is relocated to another host. Through VMware DRS settings, The ECi hosts are configured to automatically move VMs in the event that a given host begins to struggle, be it due to an unusually heavy load or potential hardware issues detected during routine health checks performed by the host itself. What if a host experiences a hard failure before the VMs have a chance to VMotion to another host? The process of restarting a VM on a separate host takes minutes rather than hours or days. In this case, users would experience a brief interruption as the server is brought up on the new host. What does ECi hosted cloud look like when compared to an on-premise implementation? Here you have a typical network configuration: one router, one firewall, one load balancer, one switch, one host, and one SAN, one internet feed. The minimum requirement for high availability would be 2 of everything. The next level of redundancy would be to have another data center location with a similar configuration to allow for second site recovery. Today, ECi has 2 data centers configured for high availability. For existing DDMS dealers, the migration to the ECi hosted cloud can be completed in as little as 1 week. Having access to your new DDMS server within days, minimal setup to test and prepare for conversion, switchover can be scheduled overnight or over the weekend with no downtime. For new DDMS dealers, the normal implementation process is enhanced by the selection of a hosted server rather than an on-premise solution. No on-site server means no waiting on hardware to be delivered and no server setup. You can begin training on your new system sooner than with an on-premise server solution.